Good day to you, everyone. Today, we will present The Customs of the Tagalogs by Father Juan de Palesencia. So, here are the reporters, Jan Riley Atienza, Leslie Rona Vidalion, and Princess Lynn Dimapilis. So, let's start from the beginning, which is the background of the author. Fray Juan de Palesencia was among the first group of Franciscan missionaries who arrived in the Philippines islands in July to 1578. According to Britannica, Franciscan is a term used to refer to any member of a Roman Catholic religious order founded in the early 13th century by Saint Francis of Assisi. The Franciscan order is one of the four great mendicant orders of the Church, and its great members strive to cultivate the ideals of poverty and charity. One of the most notable works of Father Palesencia is the Doctrina Christiana, where he contributed to authoring the document. And fun fact, Doctrina Christiana was shared among the locals since its title literally means the teachings of Christianity, and thus the primary goal of the book was to promote Christian teaching across the Philippine archipelago. Other works attributed to him are the Relación de las Costumbres de los Tagalos, or the Custom of the Tagalogs of 1589, which helped to understand and preserve many traditional ways of the Filipinos, but it also provided the first form of civil code used by governors to administer justice. Father Palesencia passed away in 1590 in Lidio, Laguna. Another fun fact, the Doctrina Christiana was published posthumously because while Fray Juan de Palesencia's work was essential for its content, even though he died before the printing process began in 1593.
So, Customs of the Tagalogs, it exhibits an ethnographic representation of the Tagalog life in the late 16th century. So, when it comes to social and political organization, datos or the chiefs rule over the barangays or small communities. So, a barangay consists of 30 to 100 households and it's divided into three social classes. We have Maharlika, or the nobles, Aliping na Mamahay, who are the commoners, and Aliping sa Gigilir, who are the slaves. So, Aliping na Mamahay, they are like married servants who own their households. They live inside their house. While the Aliping sa Gigilir, they are the actual household slaves. So when it comes to the economy, the those are the ones who control the fisheries, market, and land distribution, while it's the community who works on the agriculture together. So now we go to laws and the justice. It is datos or the arbiters who carry out punishments that ranges from fines to death sentences. So when we go to the marriage and the family dowries, the divorce, they have particular circumstances, and their inheritance laws, it allows children of mixed status marriages to get. So when we talk about the religion during that time, it mostly centered on deities such as the Bathala, the superior creator, and we have Dian Masalanta, Lakapati, and many more. Since it's primarily centered on deities, It also comes from recognized worship such as rituals, offering, and auguries, and ceremonies. And it's usually led by the Babaylan. And when it comes to the death and the afterlife, chiefs are buried in boats with either the animals or slaves. And in addition, they believe that the afterlife consists of two places, the Maka or the paradise for good souls, and Kasanaan, a place for anguish for the wicked.
Moreover, Customs of the Tagalogs was written in 1589 by Juan de Plasencia, a Franciscan missionary who was among the first friars in the Philippines. The document is one of the earliest written accounts of pre-colonial Tagalog society, describing their social classes such as the Datus, Maharlikas, and Alipids, as well as systems of governance, laws, marriage traditions, inheritance, and religious beliefs. Placencia's goal was to give Spanish authorities and fellow missionaries a clear picture of native life so they could govern more effectively and spread Christianity. Although the work is valuable because it preserves the details of early Filipino customs, it also reflects on the colonial perspective of the author. Plasencia wrote it as a missionary, so their experiences highlighted the difference from Christianity and Spanish culture. Despite these biases, the customs of the Tagalogs remains a significant primary source in the Philippine history, offering insights on how the Tagalogs lived before and during the early years of Spanish colonization.
Okay. This book served as a primary source as it helped preserve the pre-colonial beliefs and caste system of the Philippines before the arrival of the Spaniards. Also, it explains how the past reflects to the present of the Philippines, specifically the concept of barangay, power hierarchy, marriage customs, religion, and superstition. For example, the concept of barangay still exists to this day since the barangays serve as a community with the members and the leader like the datu, where they live in harmony and help each other in times of need. Although the colonization has impacted our beliefs, the culture of caste, religions, and superstition of the past still remain relevant to this day. Hence, it provided valuable insights to our traditions as Filipinos. Thank you for listening.